What's up, everyone, and welcome down to the vault. Another great episode, and today we're going to be talking art and cakes. And with me today, I have from Misery Loves Co., but you could say company, Mr. Aaron Aravallo. How are you, sir?
Very good, very good. You got the name right and everything.
No, I told you I'd nail it. I told you. Hey, man, thank you for such a beautiful cake that they made he has made a beautiful cake for the show. This is what he specializes in, although he's an artist. Talk about how you got into this kind of art. Were you a metalhead first? Because I know you're a metalhead. Were you a metalhead first and said, man, started looking at album covers and started drawing it? Or were you a drawer first? And how did that work?
I was always into music, always into metal. And then, art was kind of something I always did. I never got paid to do it. Growing up, it got me through problems. It got me through high school.
So what were your bands growing up? Were you Exodus? Were you?
In the Bay Area, I'm 41, so, a little late to the party, but, learned about, Metallica, which got me into, Testament and Exodus. And, then you go into Slayer and you name it. And, the faster, the harder it got, the better it got. So always a big fan of metal, just always part of my life. Just music, I can't really do anything without it. If I'm baking or painting, whatever I'm doing.
Always cranking through. Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
If I'm doing something, like say I'm at the gym in the daytime or in the morning, because I do go 6 days a week, if I don't have metal cranking in my ears, I can't even work out.
Yeah.
So many times I forgot my headphones and just went, turned around and walked out because I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I get it. So was it album covers that caught you first? Or are you a horror guy? Because I know you're a horror guy as well. It was, I mean, you're like right in my realm. Me and you are like talking the same thing.
Right on. No, it's been horror's more of a I can expand a little bit more with horror. Although music will put you in any genre you need to be in or wherever you want to be. Horror is a little bit more fun to me. You know what I mean? Because it's always a little darker. Depending on what you're looking at or what you're thinking about. So the art always kind of went that way.
What are the things that you like to draw or like to paint? What were the things that started you, and what do you get? I mean,
I just starting out. I ended up in junior high, illegally tattooing everybody because I could draw.
Oh my!
So people would come to me, hey, they come to me first with, hey, can you draw this for me and get it tattooed? And be like, yeah, cool, I'll draw it. And then after making a million drawings, hey, tattoo this on me. Like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. Like, you want me to do what? Like, oh, and then like, here, just a needle. Like, you want me to do what? Like, wait, I'm literally talking people down. Like, I'm not gonna do this.
Okay, now, because you're an artist, can you tattoo? You think you could? I mean,
I did.
You did.
I did. It was all shit. And anybody that has a tattoo of mine from 90 through 99, I'm sorry, but it was your fault. You forced me to do it.
And he makes cakes now anyway, so
you can apologize with cake.
Eat the mistake.
Yeah, but no, literally people would come to me. They started coming to me with machines. Hey, we made you this tattoo. Like, oh man, like I don't know. I would tell them, I don't know what I am doing. Like,
right.
I can put this image on you. I don't know if it's gonna stay. I don't know if it's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna explode on you. I don't know. So
right.
I would just do all these tattoos, and people were happy. At least for
really?
then.
For then they were.
Yeah, and.
Have any backlash since then? Have you heard anybody come at you and go, yo?
Nobody's ever. I think I saw
Aaron, look at this thing. Look at this thing.
That's what cover-ups are for.
That's what you get.
Find a good tattoo artist to get it covered
Exactly. I have a couple myself. So tattoos I got old. I mean, I'm 55. I got my first tattoo when I was 18.
Yeah.
It was Iron Maiden Killers, and I had to get it redone.
Yeah.
Because it was just too. It got the face got all fucked up and shit. So it was one of those kind of things. So talk about the cakes a little bit. When did you start doing that, and how did you start getting into doing that?
So, weird thing. So, first, moved to the Bay Area, and
from
the Bay Area originally. I had moved to Southern California when I was 21. Girlfriend of mine moved down with me. We had kids. Things went bad. We split up. We both moved back to the Bay. So now I'm back in the Bay, and for the first time ever, I'm splitting my time with my kids.
Great.
And their mom, you know what I mean? Which sucked. I'd never done it before. I used to come home, they're home. Now I'm working, come home, they're not there, and I have them only a few days a week, whatever. So I'm working, managing sales floors in Oakland and stuff, and traffic and bullshit. And their mom is going to go back to go to nursing school. So I'm thinking this through. I'm like,
and what year are we talking about, Aaron?
This
where
is
about where we're on timeline.
2013.
2013. Yeah. So about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Then.
So she's going to go to nursing school, which means if I'm going to be working in Oakland and commuting and all this crap, she's going to be at school full time. Our kids are going to be daycare and school programs, and we're not going to see them until we get home. So I'm like, well, I got to figure out something that can keep me home with the kids, and pay the bills. So their birthdays are a couple days apart in April. They're 4 years, but a couple days apart. And so I figured, I saw, one of the TV shows with the cake guys. I'm like, I think I can do that. Let me try and make a cake. So I tested and made a little princess pillow cake for my daughter. And then it was a test for the birthday party. See if I can make it look like what I'm thinking, then I'll make their birthday cake. So I made this princess pillow, and it was really cool. And then I realized, well, it's one of those days I don't have the kids for 2 days, and I got this fucking cake, So I'm like, well, I'll take it to the office and let everybody at the office eat it. So walking in the office, and our parking lot was a block from the office in Oakland. And I'm walking with this cake, and I got stopped by 4 different people asking, where the fuck did you get that? These women are like, oh, my God, where'd you get that? And it didn't hit me by the 4th one. I'm like, because they're like, where'd you get it? How much was it? So the 4th one, I'm like, well, what would you pay for this? And she's like, I don't know, like $100, $200. I'm like, oh, shit. All right, because this was, $4 worth of material,
Sure.
So from then, and then literally a month later was their birthday party. I made their cakes. And then now you have a kid's birthday party, 2 kids, which means 20 kids invited, which means potentially 30 or 40 parents standing around going, holy shit, where'd you get the cake? And I'm like, I did that, And then a week later, hey, can you make this? Can you make that? And like, I think I can do that. So then 2 months later, I quit my job and stay home and make cakes and take the kids to school, pick them up, get to hit every field trip, every, book club, whatever it is, I'm there. So that's, cakes let me stay home with the kids and pay the bills.
That's awesome. So how long has that been possible to do? It's
been 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, 6 years.
And you do a lot of different clients. Talk about some of your clients, and how did you get hooked up with them?
Well, pretty cool. So, Bay Area has a lot of fucking talent, as you know, in the music world. My brother actually works for a company called Rocket Cargo, which you may know.
Yeah, I know. We've used him.
Yeah. So he's was constantly around, the Bay Area rock stars. And, so he'd be at events and things helping out and kind of, hey, drop my name. Hey, my brother does stuff, like you're having a party, but you have a fucking, a cake that really, sets the tone for your party. So, drop my name here and there. And then next thing I know, I get hit up by the Metallica, management, hey, we're doing a party for a manager, can you do this? Yeah, do this. And so I'm dropping off stuff to their, their secret headquarters. And then, Kurt comes to me for Fear Fest Evil.
So we're going to show some of those cakes right now. I think Wayne's going to throw those. Our producers going to throw some of those cakes.
Robert Trujillo and his wife, come to me for their birthday parties and stuff, and just branched off from there. Where Nikki Black, being in the fold, she'll need a cake for an event or something, and she'll hit me up. Like she got me. I did a cake for Patti Smith, which is pretty fucking awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really
cake
cool,
maker
man.
to the stars,
yeah,
Aaron. How cool is that?
It's pretty cool that I get to do this, and I get to see people that are like, oh fuck, that's a cake, like, oh my god, that's amazing, and I'm just there like, dude, you're amazing. I've been watching you for 30 years, you know what I mean? And they're looking at that, and I'm like, yeah, like it's pretty cool when you can put somebody that you're in awe of.
How much of your clientele is actual celebrities that you work with?
It's probably a small amount. Probably a handful a year. 4 or 5 a year, because I'll end up doing anywhere between 3 to 8, 10 cakes a weekend.
10 cakes a week.
Yeah. So it'll it's
and it varies from anything. I mean, football, baseball.
Yeah, I do.
Whatever themes of whatever.
Yeah, sports. Music. Gumby, whatever the kids thing happens. Legos, you name it. Yeah. So whatever. And
is your favorite stuff to do the horror stuff or more the metal?
Oh yeah. Well, my favorite. So like some of the pictures you'll see there. I like the more realistic stuff. You know what I mean? So like
the tennis shoe and the leaf.
Yeah,
that was just amazing, man. How
the shoes are a big hit. I don't wear Jordans, but a lot of people, they're fans of the So, I do those.
Okay, so talk about how do you construct something like that, and how do you construct something like this? I mean, the horns, the hand looks so real, and that's made out of cake. You said it's edible.
It's edible. That's edible fondant. Everything's edible. There is wire in there, structurally, but it's kind of a weird process. I never thought I'd be, using engineering in my life or anything, but I got to like structurally figure out how it's going to stand up. Whether it's this or a tiered cake or a. Like I did a shining cake for a friend's birthday party.
What did you have on it?
So it was a the carpet pattern around the bottom.
Yes.
And the top was the elevator, but I made it bleed.
Really?
So I made it slowly bleed blood down. So I had to structurally engineer this cake so that I could have a pump that would release the blood through the cake elevator doors.
Now, did you do it? Was it a continuous kind of thing, or just when you came up and pushed?
Yeah, it was kind of a one shot.
One time and it came through.
Yeah,
because that'd be so cool if it continued through there as the cake was getting.
Oh no, it would end up.
What's your favorite cake? Which one you've made that it sticks out that you just had so much fun making?
My favorite cake was probably the one I did for Kirk. He had his book release for Too Much Horror Business. It was a big 3 by 4 foot layout with all the classic Universal monsters, Dracula.
We're gonna look at a picture of that. Yep.
Dracula, the Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein, the zombie. The Mummy. For me, just because I love monsters, love the Universal monsters.
I'm the same way. I have them tattooed here.
Same.
I'm the classic.
Yeah.
I love them. I can watch them over and over and over again. I have Frank right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
The Mummy back there. I love them. I love them to death.
Yeah, same. So for me, it was huge. I got to do something I loved for somebody I admired, because I'm standing there with Kirk. He's releasing his book, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was just like this trifecta.
Which all of his
awesome
memorabilia is absolutely fantastic.
Insane. Yeah, he's got one of the biggest collections
envy is the word. Envy is the word.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like
Unbelievable. It. Yeah. I mean, I was, because I love that stuff too.
Yeah, it's another, Fear Fest is awesome. He calls me up when he does them, and I get to do the VIP, treat packages for the VIPs. So there's been, many nights.
So talk about this cake, Aaron. Talk about what you did to make this cake. It's basically a round cake. So what's on the inside of it? How did you?
So this, cookies and cream. Because I heard you guys like cookies and cream. So cookies and cream cake inside. But I'm trying to fit, your Toxic Vault, look and theme. So you got, rock,
obviously the vault looks like
the rock vault
here in the vault,
and then the logo, and then horns up, motherfuckers.
Okay, and so do you make the round part of the cake first, and then this is made separately?
Correct. So everything it's done in stages. So I'll make the cake first. So the cake on its own is standard baking stuff. I got to bake this thing, cool it, cut it, fill it, the whole 9. Buttercream it, and then it comes down to creating the art. So depending on what I'm doing, again, I've got to kind of set aside the time. Okay, so I've got to create a hand for this one. I got to create the logo. I've got to make these molds for the rock pattern, do the cutouts, whatever it may be. And every cake's going to be a little bit different. So if one of my favorite ones was this realistic looking fish that I had to do for this fisherman guy, and so I got to carve this thing in advance. I'm always thinking how this is going to turn out. You have to have a game plan, mentally, so that I can hit the marks I need to hit.
Now, what do you use? Is there a certain flavor or type of frosting that you're using that's going to set up like this? See how it's
they're all different. I only use I only have about 12 different flavor options that I use because I keep things pretty simple. I only do what I can do perfectly.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know if people come to me, hey, can you do a fucking raspberry sherbet melon no, these are the ones I perfect.
Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, cookies
I have
and cream.
I have some different stuff in there, but I do what I can do perfectly, or I don't do it at all. You know what I mean? So this one has to be cookies and cream. The buttercream's kind of a standard buttercream that most bakers use to set so that it stays solid. And then you've got the fondant. Fondant is pretty much like an edible clay.
It's clay, basically.
Yeah, it's sugar gelatin
and
clay.
Cookies and cream on the fondant?
The fondant is like a vanilla.
It's like a vanilla.
Yeah.
Now, and the lettering?
It's all the same. All the same flavor.
And the cape as well?
Yeah.
But this is actual cake in here.
No, this is full. The hand itself is full fondant.
It's full. It's just fondant.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Full fondant.
Yeah. It's edible, but unless you're 6 years old or you want to take a bite out of the hand. because it's just pure sugar.
It's just wow. I want to preserve it. How do I preserve it?
I mean, you can. A lot of people will take this topper part because, again, unless you're 6, you're not really going to eat the hand. A lot of people will pull that out, and you can, it'll harden. I mean, it'll basically turn.
I don't know. You don't know me that well. I just may eat that fucking hand. People who know me and know I love sweets. I didn't become the burly-chested lead singer for not eating that kind of crap.
Well, you can eat it, or if you leave it out and let it dry or throw it in the fridge, it'll harden. It'll be a giant fucking lollipop.
Now, you also do art. You did a great hockey mask for us with our man on there right next to him. See, look at that. That worked out really well. And do you do a lot more of that stuff? And
so my weeks are kind of split. So this is all I do, and it's got to pay the bills. I live in the East Bay, so it ain't easy. So my weeks are kind of split. I'd say I'm always handling emails for quotes and things for cakes, but probably Thursday through Saturday I'm making cakes, and then Sunday through Wednesday I'm painting horror decor. So what happened was I started the cake company. I was making cakes. Things are going well. I got T-boned by a big rig, and it fucked me up, and I was in a lot of pain, and it hurt for a good month to do much of anything. And,
really?
I mean, I'm not tiling a roof or anything here, but this stuff is edible clay, so I got to knead this stuff and
sure.
move around, and I was in pain. So I'm like, I need to supplement my income while I'm out, because I need the income. So I'm like, well, I'll try painting things that I like and see if people are interested at all. So I started painting, trying to figure out what to paint on, because people generally don't buy art, unless they're the rich and you've got a famous art name. They're not buying your painting. You know what I mean? Because you can get anything at Target for $40 and it looks like what you want it to look like. So I'm thinking, well, if what I would want is, horror inspired art on horror things, machetes, knives.
Yeah, I saw the
hatchets.
It stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah. So, and those are some of my favorite pieces, where, I could take a machete and paint, Jason on it because that was his thing, or, take a butcher knife and paint Michael Myers on it because that was his thing, or a saw blade with Ash, from The Evil Dead.
Right, exactly.
So to me, I mean, it made sense to me, and I'm thinking, well, somebody out there has to like this. So, with the help of Instagram and Etsy, it kind of took off to where people.
So do you do like toy shows or conventions and stuff like that?
I haven't had the time, unfortunately, because cakes take up a big part of my weekend. But I definitely am going to. I'm thinking, our friends at the comic book shop, Green Machine, they're going to be holding a little con at the mall there, and I'm probably do that in July. But yeah, I mean that's the. Again, I'm making cakes Wednesday, Thursday through Saturday, and then Sunday through Wednesday I'm painting. And usually the stuff I paint is for clients, or I'm putting it up and it sells. So I don't have a lot that sits around. So in order to hit a con, I've got to dedicate.
Oh, I see. To backlog some stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, Aaron, what's the negotiating price for your cake? I mean, I'm just saying, some people are going to come at you with some elaborate stuff, right? Yeah. And so your take is how do you? What do you put into that? Is it time? Is it material? Because obviously the material isn't all that.
Yeah,
it's fucking cake stuff, right?
The cake itself isn't expensive. The fondant is, because everybody has a fondant horror story. There are very few people that will come to you and say, "Oh, I love fondant," because a lot of bakers try and make it themselves, and it's horrible. It's like chalk and it's fucking nasty. I buy the fondant
because, you do,
and it's expensive, but it's good. People, if you look at my Yelp reviews, people are like, I hated fondant. I like his fondant. Well, that's the only thing I'll say on my website is I make everything else. That is store-bought. I buy it because you don't want me or anybody else to make fondant. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it costs money.
What company do you get that from? You can plug them.
This is a Wilton fondant, which I find is the most mainstream, best.
And it's a company that makes fondant.
Then. Yeah. They make a lot of cakes.
And it comes in different colors and stuff, and you textures.
It does, but generally, I buy all the white and then I make these colors myself.
Oh, you do?
These I got to knead and get the color in there.
I see.
But the process is pretty simple. When clients come to me, usually they'll call or email, and I don't like to miss anything. So if you call me, I'll be like, hey, send me an email. Let me know the day, the number of people. If there a theme, do you want it to look like your suicidal hat? Do you want it to look like your Corvette? Do you want it to look like your dog? What is it you're looking for? Send me any ideas you've got, and then I'll get back to you. So what happens from there is I'll take, either they say, suicidal tendencies, knock yourself out. It's got to feed 50 people. And I'll come to them with, I can do A, B, C. And as it goes down the line, A is going to be a little less inexpensive than C is going to be. So this will be standard, medium, and then a carved.
Okay, so how big is your oven? How big of a cake can you actually, or do you have to do it in different stages?
Yeah,
just because
all cakes are done in stages. Because you're not cooking, you're not baking a giant. I mean, you're baking, tins of cake. So this was 4 individual tins. You know what I mean?
I see.
They cook quicker that way. They cook better that way. So yeah, I mean, I use a standard oven, but yeah, I mean, it's just again, I've got to weigh out my days to I've got these 6 cakes to do. Everything's got to be ready by Saturday.
And this cake's going to take so long, but this cake's not going to take as long. Maybe is that how you do it?
Yes and no. They kind of all worked on the same. I've got a cake fridge that's just full of cake. So because I can't work.
So you make all the cakes, and then you do all the icing at one time, and then all the
exactly. Because I can't.
I guess that makes sense.
This is edible, so I can't leave this out for 4 hours. If this takes me 4 hours, I'm not leaving out 4 hours. It would start to melt and change. So I'll work on it 45 minutes, put it away, get to the other one. 45 minutes, get to the other one. So everything's going in a rotation, and then next thing 4 a.m. on Saturday they're done, and then 9 a.m. I'm out delivering cakes, and then me and the kids hit the movies or
nice
the concert. So.
See Godzilla yet?
Not yet.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like monsters, so as long as the monster's in it. What's the most expensive cake that you've ever made for someone?
It'd be shocking to hear this. It's for a 1-year-old. This was a 5-tier, probably about 4 foot tall, circus-themed birthday party with a side cake for him to cut. It's pretty amazing to understand the money that's out there in the world, because this was a couple $1,000s for this 1-year-old's birthday. Which
give me the number. Go ahead, give me the number.
It was a $2,800 birthday cake. Which, hey, more. God bless them that they could do this for this kid.
For a cake, for a 1-year-old's cake.
For a cake. I mean, it was fun for me. I don't think that kid remembers a damn thing.
Oh, I can guarantee that kid does. Do you remember 1 year? Does anybody?
Not at all. But the party was fucking punk rock. So they had rented out a winery over here in Livermore, and I go in. I took my brother with me because this cake was so big. I was worried it was in 2 pieces plus the little one. So I'm like, just go with me to make sure I don't freak out. If I need help, you can help me put this thing together. So we pull up, and you've been to shows and things. The big RVs for the cast or
trailers, yes,
makeup trailers and things.
Yes.
They had those out front. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I realized they have circus performers, but not the ones you get out of the phone book, like real circus performers with trailers. You know what I mean? Like they're paying these people. I'm assuming
they didn't hire Popo the clown out of the paper.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah, these are people that have
So the cake was probably baby shit compared to what they paid performers.
Exactly, because I'm looking at things. So the big, the Vegas signs, with the million light bulbs. We walk in as we're bringing the cake in, and they got 2 mini forklifts with 2 guys, putting up a sign that's just circus. It's probably 10 foot. I'm looking at I look at him, tell my brother, I'm like, that's probably a $6,000 rental for the day. You know what I mean? Like I left money on the table for that cake because they spent $60,000 on this 1-year-old's birthday party here. We walked into a room, they had a full, one of the rooms was just decked out in real circus, the games like to knock the
right,
milk
yeah,
bottles
the game,
down.
sure.
Real booths, like the ones that they come in and they screw together and they're there for all weekend. Really, like the whole room. There's 15 of these things for people to play these circus games. Like, shit, like it's outstanding.
Did they have candy corn and all the circus fare?
Everything that comes in a circus, except for
they did.
Except for like who knows? Maybe they paid a guy to be.
Do they let you attend a lot of these parties, Aaron? I mean,
most people are. I mean, if you're buying a custom cake, you're not pinching pennies. So a lot of these people are really cool, and they're like, dude, come on in, like, because a lot of times I'll have the kids with me, and I'm like, hey, come with me, let's drop this cake off, and they're like, oh, come on in, kids can have whatever, and I never stick around because it's a little weird, but a lot of people are really cool. I've had a lot of people pull me aside, hey, can we take a picture with you? Like, the fuck do you want a picture with me? Like, oh, it's my daughter's, 18th birthday, that's what the party's for, can you take a picture with her and the cake? Like, she's going to look at this in 20 years and go, who the fuck was this guy standing with me in the cake? Like,
that's the cake guy.
Yeah.
Now you did Cake Wars too, man. Talk about that a little bit. What was the audition process for that? And you obviously made it to the show. How well did you do?
It was interesting. Actually, there's no audition, so I thought I was being punked. So again, I started this to stay home with the kids.
Right.
So what I would do is I'd have the kids probably 3-4 days a week, but I'll take them to school every day and pick them up, blah, blah, blah. So on the days I had them, if I'm making cakes, I'd be dad all day, put them in bed, 8:30, 9 o'clock, they're in bed, and then I'd start making cakes. So I'd be up till 3, 4 in the morning finishing cakes, get up at 7, get them ready, take them to school. So I'm pretty fucking tired all day. And then, so one day I get to school to pick them up 15, 20 minutes early. I'm like, well, I'm going to take a nap. So I'm sitting in the car trying to take a nap. My phone rings. I'm like, hey, this is, Steve with, Cake Wars. I'd like to talk to you about being on a TV show. And I'm thinking it's one of my friends. Like, shut the fuck up.
God.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like,
shut up, Dave. I know this is you.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Like, hey, Sue, shut the fuck up. So I'm like, wait, excuse me? And he's like, yes, I'm in Burbank, California. I'm calling you for this production company. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like trying to wake myself up in my car. Like, yeah, let's talk. He goes, well, we found you online. We're looking at your cakes. You're interested in doing something like this? I'm like, sure. So they'd seen enough of my work. I didn't audition. They just,
right.
said, hey, let's, can you make it here on these dates? We want you to compete against these people. And we did it. And that was actually the same weekend I did, I think it was a Fear Fest, one of the Fear Fests.
It was 2014 then, right?
I think it was the second one. I think it was 2015. Mm-hmm. Because literally it was fucked up. It was a crazy weekend. I did a Fear Fest for Kirk, my kids' birthdays, which I go big on. I make their cakes and create this whole party for them.
I hope so.
Yeah. And then literally me and my brother, after the birthday party, cleaned up, and my parents and family cleaned up the rest. We hopped in the car and drove to Southern California to shoot for Cake Wars.
Okay, so how long was the shoot for that?
We were there for 6 days. You shoot for 5, and it's interesting. I mean, it's pretty crazy. You're there early, you're on set all day, and it's just constant. They own you. I didn't know they owned you, but everybody's mic'd, and you got to go to the bathroom. You got to tell your producer, I need to use the bathroom. Okay, we'll have somebody walk you to the bathroom.
Why?
I mean, because you're owned. You're an actor at this point, and they don't want you getting hurt. They don't want you running away. You know what I mean? So they have to make sure that you're there and you're not, walking down the street getting hit by a car, because it's going to ruin the continuation of the continuity of the show.
Yes, I see.
So it was fun. It was interesting. I did get my ass handed to me
because
lack of prep. So my whole life I've been really good at what me and the family call a reveloing the situation, where you walk in and you don't prepare. You just fucking walk in, do what you do, and you kick ass and have a nice day. I revelo the shit out of that thing.
I like that.
Yeah. And the whole time leading up to the show, the producers are, telling me, hey, you and your partner practicing, blah, blah. Because everybody I was competing with, they had full-scale bakeries with numerous employees. I, at this point, was working from home and was bringing my brother, we have never made much more than a pizza together. You know what I mean? And he lives in the city. I live in Fremont.
So you didn't have your team with you, basically.
I didn't have a team. I just
brought my everybody
brother.
Else had a team.
Exactly. Which, again, I can't. They knew what they were doing. I didn't. At this point, I'd never used a real commercial kitchen or a real commercial oven. Uh-huh. So it was funny. If you watch the show, I didn't know how to open the fucking doors for these ovens, because they're like Dutch oven doors. I'm used to the home oven, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know how these doors open. It's funny, if you watch it, you can pick up that I had no idea what I'm doing in an industrial kitchen. But yes, it was a shock to me, because I'd never used any of this equipment. So I got to learn this, and they didn't know that either. So after you shoot, then they go back and do, hey, how'd you feel here? Talk about, et cetera, et cetera. So they're asking me, and they're like, how'd you feel? I'm like, I was fucking overwhelmed. Like, yeah, being on TV is pretty crazy. I'm like, no, I've been on TV before. I've never used any of this equipment.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't have a real bakery. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this out of the house. They're like, you do what? Like, what? They didn't know, that I was really.
Hey, you found me, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Which, I mean, they enjoyed more because it was kind of, like David versus Goliath.
God, I guess. I would think that would be the...
Yeah. But I still got my ass handed to me.
So what?
Preparation is
Is that what they let? Do you remember what the cake you? Do we have a picture of that?
No, I didn't send that one. It was a Lego themed episode. If you watch the episode, it's.
Oh, so everybody had to do the same kind of type of cake.
Yeah. No. So it's it's three parts. First part, they say you got to make X. I think ours is like got to make something that. So it was Lego sponsoring that show. It was a 30th or 40th anniversary or something, and so we had to make something Lego themed within a certain amount of time. So that's competition one. Somebody gets kicked off, and then the next one you got to do something else Lego themed. Somebody gets kicked off. So in the end, it's just 3 bakers making the major cake that they're going to take to the Lego event. So we're all making the same general idea.
How quick did you get kicked off?
I made it to the very end.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I made it to the very end. Yeah. But I just got my ass handed to me at that point. But
so when they tell you, when you sit in front of them and they tell you about your product,
it was already.
They just let you have it, huh?
Let's put it this way: there's nothing to have in the end.
Really?
You have it. So it's probably one of the more entertaining episodes. Because that cake got dropped.
No shit.
The cake hit the floor. Yeah.
I gotta see this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's.
Send me a link to this.
Yeah, I will.
If you have it, I gotta see that.
Yeah. It's got to be one of the more watched episodes.
So I gotta ask you one more question. Do you eat cake anymore?
Unfortunately, I do. Because probably half the cakes I do. So this isn't a carved cake. This is a 8-inch round.
Right.
I cut, the pieces off, fill it. But if I'm doing like the trout or the turtle that, you have, or the shoe, those are carved. There's no mold for those things. And I got to carve these things out. So in the end, but when it's Saturday morning, 1 a.m., I'm still making cakes. The kids are asleep. I really haven't eaten all day. And I'm still, I'm making this cake and I got a scrap bowl of cake. What would you do?
Well, I know what I would do. I know what I do. I'm looking at this cake now and going, holy shit. That's going to be the next 4 or 5 days. It's, without the hand.
Yeah. So, I eat a lot of scrap cake.
A lot of scrap
I hate myself immediately following, but...
I'm sure, the rest of us do.
But again, I haven't eaten all day. I'm working on cakes, and it's right there.
I would just think because, it's like you hear people that work and I've always wanted to work in a pizza parlor, and I never did. And
I'd be dead by now.
And that's the thing. It's clogged. Like, are you kidding me? Any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Rib joint, fried chicken, you know what I mean? Something like that. So to do cakes or cupcakes or I'm a candy guy too. I fucking love candy.
Yeah.
So it's like, anything that's sweet, it's got,
Yeah, and it's there. If it's there, you're gonna pop
Thank
it.
You.
Know what I mean?
Thank you. So, Aaron, tell everybody where they can get a hold of you for any of your killer art or your cakes. I mean, this cake is absolutely amazing. I haven't eaten it yet, but I will. Believe me, I know that already. I already thought about that. I'm probably bringing a fucking cake for me. And I know everybody in my house, the workout clan, are going to be, oh, no, you can keep that for yourself. I'll use that. So
just leave it out. 2 a.m, everything changes.
That's what I'm saying. That's right. I got stoner kids. I know they are.
Work out all day, come home, and you're going to eat some cake.
Totally.
How to get a hold of me. There's a few different ways. My website, it's miserylovesco.biz, B-I-Z. You can follow my Instagram for sure. Instagram, people get to see everything. They see all the horror decor, all the paintings, all the art, and all the cakes. My Instagram is miserylovesco510. Etsy's the same, Misery Loves Co 510. The Yelp page is great because you can see all the cakes.
Sure.
No arts on there, but all the cakes, and you can see what people think.
Right.
Still 5 stars.
I love that.
You're
doing it right, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't do anything that isn't going to be fun, and I don't do anything. How I attack everything is that I'm making it for my kids. You know what
That's
I mean?
great. So I try to attack everything that I am a kid. If you look at my set and everything I do, I'm fortunate enough to get to play heavy metal. You know what I mean? All the things that are cool when you're a kid. I still collect toys. I can't wait to eat this goddamn cake. You know what I mean? It actually looks absolutely amazing. you guys leave me comments and let me know what you about this. And watch my show on TV because it looks so much better than on your little screen or on your iPad. I know most of you have smart TVs. Watch my show and subscribe to my channel, and I can have you back in here in some time.
We
can talk metal.
We'll do more cake,
more cake.
More art.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Aaron Olivello.
Pleasure.
Misery Loves Company. Get his cakes. And shit. Right on, brother. Good for having you, man. It's great. I can't wait. Where's the knife? See you guys in the vault real soon.